Cody Rhodes crying was unplanned. John Cena losing his WWE retirement match by tapping out was a fail. R-Truth admits his current WWE deal is his last. Cody Rhodes' future plans revealed after SNME. Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi in the works. Has Kevin Owens retired from wrestling? The real reason why John Cena tapped out explained. Which role did Triple H play in John Cena giving up to Gunther? John Cena is not done with WWE. The WWE ignored Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Let's dive right in. John Cena losing his WWE retirement match by tapping out was a fail. John Cena finally hung up his boots at WWE Saturday Night's main event, SNME, at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. After an exciting retirement tour that saw Cena turn heel and win the WWE Championship for the 17th time in his career, the champ brought down the curtains on his glorious in-ring career. The entire WWE locker room was out there to pay their respect to the Final Testament player. However, WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H was also subjected to boos inside the arena and was also trolled on the internet. Let's look at things that went wrong at SNME. Number 1. The Miz getting embarrassed in front of the WWE Universe. The Miz surprisingly showed up at SNME and was involved in a segment with R-Truth and Joe Hendry. The A-lister was out there groaning that he didn't get to face Cena in his retirement match and that he was the deserving one. R-Truth came out and told Miz that he wasn't the deserving one, and instead, he stole someone else's spot in the Last Time Is Now tournament. He gave him a plastic ball with a paper inside, which read Joe Hendry's name. Hendry was around, and he entered the ring and soon took out Miz with a fallaway slam. Later, Truth and Joe Hendry gave a 5-knuckle shuffles to The Miz. This whole segment was entertaining, but it felt unwanted. There was no reason to have The Miz get embarrassed in front of the fans. In fact, The Miz got 2 chances to compete in the tournament. After losing his first match, he was also booked as Sheamus's replacement, after the Celtic Warrior was ruled out of the tournament due to a shoulder injury. So there was no reason to have Miz have a segment at SNME. Number 2. Drew McIntyre taking the beatdown. Drew McIntyre intervened in the match between Cody Rhodes and NXT champion Oba Femi. McIntyre, as expected, attacked Cody Rhodes, but surprisingly, he faced resistance from Oba Femi. Cody and Femi then teamed up to take down Drew McIntyre. While Cody used his Cody cutter, Oba Femi gave a powerful chokeslam to the Scottish Warrior. However, the purpose behind this whole booking didn't make sense. The first match of the night, ending in a DQ first, didn't amuse the fans. Secondly, it's not understandable why McIntyre is still behind Cody Rhodes. He already had 2 title matches against Cody Rhodes. The first match happened at WrestlePalooza, and the other happened just a month back at SNME. In both matches, Cody defeated McIntyre fair and square. Therefore, it's beyond comprehension now as to why the company is still hooked to this storyline. Moreover, what literally went wrong at SNME was McIntyre being beaten up by Cody and Oba Femi. A former WWE champion and a World Heavyweight champion getting beaten up by an NXT champion didn't send a good signal. Either the company wants to bury Drew McIntyre, or it wants a storyline between Oba Femi and McIntyre. We'll find out how it goes on this week's episode of SmackDown. Number 3. John Cena losing his WWE retirement match by tapping out. WWE fans were stunned when John Cena tapped out to Gunther in his final match. The 17-time WWE champion hadn't tapped out to any superstar in the last 21 years. By doing so, Cena broke his own record, which was intriguing. Why did WWE book Cena to lose by tapping out, when in the past, superstars have lost matches to Gunther by passing out? Goldberg lost his retirement match to Gunther by passing out. LA Knight lost the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament by passing out. Then why was John Cena booked to lose his last match embarrassingly? Be that as it may, John Cena losing by tapping out was one of the biggest lows of SNME. The company can continue to get backlash from the fans in the upcoming days. As for Cena, the sun has already set on his glorious career, and he shall never wrestle again. WWE CCO Triple H was brutally trolled by the fans in the arena as well as on the internet. Hunter, however, in a post-show conversation, defended his decision by saying that he did what was best for the business. R-Truth admits his current WWE deal is his last. R-Truth isn't done with wrestling just yet, but he's starting to think more seriously about when the ride might end. During the Saturday Night's main event recap show, Truth opened up about when he might hang up the boots, and while he isn't setting a date, he is starting to think about it. I always like to say, I steal this from The Rock. I let pain in my body be my guide as far as when it's time for me to go. Right now, I still feel good. After confirming that he re-signed with WWE, R-Truth admitted that the reality of this being his last contract has crossed his mind, even if he's not ready to walk away just yet. I've thought about it. As you know, I just renewed my deal, so it's like, this could be the last one. We all have to have that time. We all have to get off the ride at some point. Truth's comments come months after his interview with Chris Van Vliet, where he made it clear he's not rushing anything. When asked about the idea of stepping away, he brushed it off. Still ain't done yet, that's the thing. At 53, R-Truth continues to entertain fans with his mix of comedy, charisma, and great in-ring skills. And while a final curtain call might be creeping into the conversation, for now, Truth is still showing up and showing out. What do you think about R-Truth possibly entering the final stretch of his WWE career? Do you believe this new deal should be his last, or does he still have plenty left to give? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you stand. Cody Rhodes' future plans revealed after SNME. Cody Rhodes' plans in WWE have been revealed following Saturday night's main event. The undisputed WWE champion was in action during the show last night in Washington, D.C. According to a new report from Fightful Select, the American Nightmare will be working with Drew McIntyre in title matches during the upcoming holiday and European tours. McIntyre got involved in Rhodes' match last night against Oba Femi at SNME, causing it to end via disqualification. Oba Femi and Cody Rhodes then teamed up to beat Drew McIntyre down following the match. SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis suspended Drew McIntyre after he leveled a referee with a claymore during Cody Rhodes' match against Aleister Black last month on SmackDown. Rhodes lost the undisputed WWE Championship to John Cena at WrestleMania 41, but won it back from the legend at SummerSlam earlier this year. Cena tapped out to Gunther in his final match at Saturday night's main event. Cody Rhodes got emotional after John Cena's in-ring career came to an end at Saturday night's main event. Rhodes was interviewed following the match on the Saturday night's main event post-show and noted that it was difficult to list all the positives Cena brought to professional wrestling. The champion stated that the legend did everything the right way and taught so many of his peers along the way. Really hard to describe in a sense of all the positives that he brought to our industry and leaving it better than he found it. Wrestling is, there's a way it is. He did everything right by the book. It's just like, when it's that good, you don't want it to end. I know that's vague, but he did everything by the book, taught so many people, set such a high standard, such a high bar. I'm not trying to get emotional on his night, said Rhodes. Drew McIntyre has not competed since winning the men's War Games match at Survivor Series. It will be interesting to see how long Rhodes can hold on to the undisputed WWE Championship moving forward. Hours after crying over Cena's retirement, the 40-year-old champion was seen with former Divas champion and Hall of Famer Nikki Bella at an NFL game. The official X account of the NFL posted a video featuring both Bella and Rhodes supporting the Birds. Both Cody and Nikki are having their best runs on their respective brands. The American Nightmare is currently the reigning undisputed WWE champion. Meanwhile, Bella has turned heel after a long time and is chasing the Women's World Championship on Raw. Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi in the works. Triple H sees something special in Oba Femi, and he's not being subtle about it, as he hinted at Oba Femi facing Brock Lesnar. Speaking during the Saturday night's main event post-show, Triple H responded to talk of a dream match between Femi and Brock Lesnar, and made it clear that Oba's presence is already impressing many. Not everyone is going to take that giant leap to the next level immediately, but Oba is one of those guys where you're instantly thinking about it. Triple H said the conversation around Oba is already huge, and the moment he stepped in, people started making comparisons to one of the most dominant names in wrestling history. You're talking about Brock Lesnar, the ultimate destroyer in this business, and already there's a comparison being made when Oba walks in the door. When Peter Rosenberg floated the idea of Femi versus Lesnar, Triple H didn't shut it down. Instead, he leaned into what makes Oba such an exciting name for WWE's future. Just watching Oba Femi, there's a lot of people you'd want to see him go against. That's the wonderful thing about it. That's the wonderful thing about NXT. You get to fantasy book these people when they get here and what they can accomplish and achieve. Then Triple H threw out a heavy tease that had Royal Rumble written all over it, implying that fans might get to see Oba Femi at the Rumble in Saudi Arabia next year. When we talk about the future, it is so bright. If only we had an event in January where tons of people compete and you never know who shows up. If only, right? That's the beautiful thing. The Royal Rumble comes along. You make careers at the Royal Rumble. Oba may be new to the scene, but with this kind of praise from Triple H, it's clear WWE sees something major in him. And if Lesnar really is nearing retirement in 2026, that dream match might be more realistic than anyone thought. Triple H didn't confirm anything, but he made it clear Oba Femi is already being viewed like a future headliner. Whether it's Royal Rumble or WrestleMania 42, the road might be wide open. Would you want to see Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar? And where should it go down? Rumble, Mania, or somewhere else? Has Kevin Owens retired from wrestling? Kevin Owens has been away from WWE television since April this year due to a serious neck injury. However, the prizefighter was recently seen at Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. He was sitting in the front row during John Cena's retirement match alongside legends like Mark Henry, Rob Van Dam, and Trish Stratus and Kurt Angle. Owens also shared a heartwarming handshake and embrace with Cena when the Cenation leader stopped at ringside to greet his friends and peers during his emotional final entrance to the ring. Watching KO sit beside mostly the retired legends, a lot of fans have been wondering whether he has quietly drawn the curtains on his wrestling career. However, that is not the case. Kevin Owens has not retired from wrestling. He is currently recovering from a fusion surgery, which is the reason behind his absence from the programming. The prizefighter has been sharing regular updates about his medical condition and did not close the door entirely on his in-ring return. Owens' appearance at ringside for Cena's retirement match at Saturday night's main event was a special tribute as he had a history with the last real champion. He hugged John Cena during the entrance and looked to be in good physical shape, but there was no indication of retirement. Injuries have been the most cruel aspect of pro wrestling, and there's no denying that. Just when Kevin Owens was at the peak of his heel run, a neck injury crushed his dreams, putting him on the shelf. He underwent successful one-level neck fusion surgery in July 2025 after being sidelined since April. Recovery from this procedure typically takes 12 to 15 months for wrestlers. Besides, WWE is very cautious with such neck injuries and gives superstars more than the required time to fully heal. Therefore, Owens can return to the company by mid-2026 or the end of the year. The prizefighter is currently undergoing rehab and was seen posting a training video in November 2025 showing him running drills. Kevin Owens has expressed hope to return next year. However, he emphasized that there's no guarantee, prioritizing long-term health. It remains to be seen how things shape up in the next few months and whether the WWE Universe gets a glimpse of Owens soon on television. The real reason why John Cena tapped out, explained. John Cena tapped out to Gunther's sleeper hold at Saturday night's main event to conclude his illustrious 23-year-long in-ring career. Many fans were disappointed in the ending of how the match and expressed their anger by chanting slurs at Triple H after the show and even online. However, WWE Hall of Famer Bubba Ray Dudley took to X to explain the real reason why Cena tapped out. Gunther defeated LA Knight in the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament to earn the opportunity to wrestle Cena in his retirement match. The ring general was very confident ahead of his match with Cena and vowed to make him tap out on last week's episode of Monday Night Raw. He kept his promise as Cena tapped out at SNME, which many fans believed contradicted his motto of never give up. On X, Bubba Ray Dudley explained the real reason behind John Cena tapping out by using a reference from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. He referenced the scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi smiled before Darth Vader struck him because he knew that his time was done. Ray stated that Cena smiled before tapping out similarly because his time as a wrestler was also over. Obi-Wan smirked smiled just before Vader struck him down because he accepted his fate and knew in order for others to live, he must die. And that's why John tapped. He wrote, many fans agreed with Ray's statement while many disagreed. However, a stark comparison can be made between the stories of John Cena and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The ending of Saturday night's main event was filled with fans swearing loudly and booing Triple H. The boos made their way into the Saturday night's main event post-show as well. Fans started chanting AEW while Triple H spoke about the outcome of the show. During the post-show, the game explained why Cena's retirement match ended the way it ended. There are time-honored traditions in our business, and there are ways that you handle your business. John has done that his entire career, and I'm going to do that my entire career, he said. Fans around the world were disappointed in the ending of the final match in the career of John Cena. Which role did Triple H play in John Cena giving up to Gunther? Triple H has been the one blamed for John Cena's match ending the way it did, with him giving up. A report has now emerged about the situation. Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer Radio spoke about the finish to John Cena's match. He said that the fans were blaming the game completely for the finish to the match. However, he said that this might not have been the game's decision. He said that it was John Cena's decision completely. He added that the WWE creative head had the power to tell Cena that no, he would not lose his last match, or no, he would not quit in the end. However, it was not the case that the former DX member called up John Cena to say that he was going to lose or quit, but it was Cena himself who decided it. He did admit, though, that though the game might have stopped it, he chose not to do so. The real role that he played was to not stop it, but he did not decide it himself. They blamed Hunter 100% for this, which at the end of the day, even if it is, listen, here's the thing, it was John Cena's decision. But even if it was, Triple H could have said, no, you actually are not losing your last match. Or, no, you're not going to quit. I mean, he could have said that. I think people are thinking Triple H made a call and John Cena maybe didn't want to do it or whatever. That did not happen. John Cena, I am sure, wanted to lose. But Triple H did not stop it. He did not say, no, I am not going to let you do that. It remains to be seen how fans react going forward in the next few WWE shows. For the moment, now the company will need to move on from the retirement of the star and decide what's next for them. John Cena is not done with WWE. John Cena has retired after losing his last ever match with WWE, but he is not yet done. Further details about his future have now been revealed. As expected, when the news broke that John Cena was retiring from WWE once and for all, this means the star will not be wrestling in a ring again. However, it does not mean that Cena is completely done with the company. In fact, there appears to be a special role left for him, which is set to be his future, even after he tapped out in his final match once and for all. As per reports by Fightful Select, John Cena is apparently expected to be making future appearances with WWE. This will feature him on screen, as well as in off-screen roles. Further details of what his on-camera appearances will feature have not been announced as of now. As for what roles these could be, given that Cena has signed on as an ambassador for WWE, it is likely he will be helping out in various aspects. He could also be bringing one of the things that he has always done, representing the company, working for charity and Make-A-Wish, and bringing that to the center stage even more. However, all of this remains just speculation. The possibility of future storylines involving him as a side character, where he does not wrestle, is far from out of the question as well. The coming weeks and months will reveal what's next for him, but one thing is certain. Even with how unhappy they are with Triple H, WWE fans have not seen the last of the 17-time WWE World Champion. The WWE ignored Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is currently on hiatus from WWE after suffering a shoulder injury, but it seems that he was in attendance for Saturday night's main event. John Cena's retirement match was a major occasion for the wrestling world, which means that many legends were in attendance. While the likes of Trish Stratus, Sami Zayn, Mark Henry, RVD, and Kurt Angle were all spotted at ringside ahead of the match, Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch were not shown on camera at all. The duo told fans they would be at the show and were then spotted leaving the arena in Washington, D.C. following the event, which means that WWE purposely ignored the couple and opted not to include them in the show. Seth Rollins was injured at Saturday night's main event last month and has since been forced to undergo surgery on his shoulder. Rollins had to vacate the World Championship following the injury and is expected to be out of action until after WrestleMania 42 as he tries to rehab the injury. It's a surprise that Rollins wasn't seen on screen since he had a major role in Cena's career as well, since he was the man who eventually overthrew the Authority, while Rollins also broke Cena's nose during a match on Raw in 2015. Cena also took Rollins' United States Championship back at SummerSlam in 2015, but it seems that he wasn't part of the overall story of last night's match. It will be interesting to see what's next for Becky Lynch after recently deciding to boycott WWE Raw after losing her championship to Maxine Dupree. Lynch has pushed for a chance to reclaim her title, but Adam Pearce has refused numerous times. Cody Rhodes crying was unplanned. Saturday night's main event included a number of interesting moments as John Cena walked away from a WWE ring for the final time. The 17-time world champion tapped out to Gunther in the main event of Saturday night's main event, and there was then a lot of reaction to the finish of the match in the post-show. One of these moments included an off-the-cuff interview with an emotional Cody Rhodes, who remained at ringside after Cena had already exited the ring. Rhodes was almost in tears as he talked about the role Cena had played in WWE in what was reportedly completely unplanned. Fightful Select recently reported that there were a number of moments throughout the show that were off the cuff, but this was one of the biggest and perhaps the most spoken about after the show. There were several moments and a number of botches that were obviously unplanned as part of the show, but one that many fans have been talking about all day is a stray comment that Jesse Ventura made. The WWE Hall of Famer was talking about Cena and played down his historic 17-time World Championship haul, noting that others were focused on how he had won them 17 times, but he had also lost World Championships 17 times as well. It's unclear if this is the stance that was believed when Ventura made the comment last night, or if this was just another comment that was supposed to be controversial and looked to get a reaction from the fans who were both in attendance and watching from home. Ventura missed the last Saturday night's main event and was only recently called back to be part of last night's show.